Welcome to the new RiverCityGamers Podcast, hosted by SCXCR and Well Unreal 007, as well as many other members from the RiverCityGamers website. Stay tuned for all the gaming news, new pickups, and everything else we feel like talking about on the RiverCityGamers Podcast.
Señores y señoritas, bienvenidos a RiverCityGamers Podcast.
Yo estoy Unreal.
Mi nombre es SCXCR.
I don't know anything about Spanish, unfortunately. I'm Blondeguygamer.
And I cheated Spanish class. I'm AngelHalo.
That's the American education system for you.
I failed Spanish class, come on.
I took 3 years of Spanish and I barely remember most of it.
Yeah.
Most of my classes in a nutshell. Nah, I'm just kidding.
Failing all your classes?
I'm just kidding.
Cheat.
So we're talking about games, right?
At
Yes.
some point, I guess.
You know, video games. What do we have going on for video games again?
I don't know, but in something more recent than my high school Spanish class, how about some gaming news?
Gaming news! So real.
Actually, before you get into your gaming news, can I just say something right off the bat?
Sure.
I'd like to ask actually for a moment of silence for Kenji Eno, who passed away a few days ago. For those of you who don't know, Kenji Eno was the guy who did the D series, and actually one of his last games was a WiiWare title called You, Me, and the Cubes. So, moment of silence for Kenji Eno. Okay, long enough. Go ahead.
Okay.
Well, that is too bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really enjoyed D, and I know Shadow Snake has D too, which I asked him to buy. Without further delay.
Okay, sadly we're gonna have to stay a little more depressing for a while. Well, at least with my story. This story honestly hurts me quite a bit. After 275 consecutive weeks, Rock Band DLC is ending April 2nd.
Shot through the heart.
No singing, please. Oh god.
I can't sing anyway.
I still have the stream video of you singing.
I heard the video of you singing.
We witnessed it live.
Oh, damn it, Blondie. You gotta hold me hostage for this, aren't you?
I'm not holding you hostage. The video's already uploaded.
What? What?
It was uploaded like last year.
You never knew about that?
I never knew about that.
I've known about it. I looked it over.
Shit.
Okay.
Yeah, no hard feelings, man.
Seriously,
Yeah,
though.
Okay. So, Harmonix wants to focus their stuff on other projects, and they're stopping weekly DLC just to do that. But seriously, 275 consecutive weeks.
That's a long time.
That's amazing.
That's impressive. They had some really good music coming out too.
And considering that, I think the first Rock Band came out in 2007, right? Or was it 2008?
One of those years.
I have a feeling it was at the end of 2007.
So yeah, almost 6 years.
Yeah, like I'm really sad that it's ending. I would have wished it would have gone on forever.
Well, everything has to come to an end sometime.
Now, have they said if the DLC is going to stay up for a certain amount of time, or
they're stopping releasing new ones? Like, the store is still going to be available. You're still going to be
okay.
Yeah, and
But
considering how many
if
there's
everything
now.
got removed, I wouldn't have been sad. I would have been pissed. But yeah, they are ending the weekly DLC. However, there is potential possibility that they will release DLC in the future, but it will not be as consistent as the weekly thing. Really, we have no idea if that's going to happen. When it comes to Rock Band Network, at least on the 360, that'll continue for now. But PS3 is probably not going to get Rock Band Network anymore because Harmonix usually has to do a conversion process to bring songs over to that system, as the 360 is the testing ground, really. And the Wii never had it, so... Yeah, the online servers for Rock Band will obviously still be up.
It's good that we at least are still able to catch up to that DLC. I know there are still some great songs out there I have yet to purchase.
Oh, there are a ton of songs that I still need to purchase.
Yeah. if there's just one band that I want to at least be on Rock Band before April 2nd, which I'm probably not going to get my wish, but if it does happen, I'll be happy. Genesis?
Really?
On the
Genesis has
Sega-
never been in it.
Nope.
On the Sega Genesis by the Book of Genesis?
No. But yeah, they have not been on it yet. Huh. I know it's weird, but that's something I want before April 2nd.
Actually, this is kind of a weird question, but has Rollins' band been on Rock Band yet?
I've never heard of them, and I don't think they were.
Henry Rollins.
No, I don't think they're on there.
Because they have some pretty great songs that I think would be perfect for a Rock Band setup.
You know, one song I would love to be on Rock Band? The Megadeth rendition of Duke Nukem. I listen to that song constantly, and I just kept imagining like I would play that on the Rock Band drums or guitar.
Or how about Australian Death Machine?
We don't know if it's like I already mentioned, there could be more, just no more weekly, but we don't know, considering the state of music games. Thanks, Activision. Next.
Well, Ubisoft almost gets it.
Emphasis on
remember
almost.
the Rayman Legends, where we have this completed product, but we're going to delay it for 7 months?
Yeah.
Well, they've announced that there's going to be a release of the full challenge mode from the game for the Wii U on the eShop for free this April. It's like they almost get it.
So it's like
yeah.
So it's like in the meantime, here's this.
Here, let this tide you over for 6 months.
Well, it's in April. It'll be like a few months.
Okay, 5 months.
5. Yeah.
Oh, thanks, Ubisoft. I'll save my money for Grand Theft Auto 5 when Legends comes out.
Yeah, I think they're also working on like more content and stuff for the Wii U version, but it's pretty much like that's all they can really do at this point, because you know the game's being delayed for so long, and I guess that's all they can really do at this point, at least for the Wii U version.
Should I mention this rumor I've heard?
No. What is it?
The rumor that the Rayman dev team may consider leaving Ubisoft.
Yeah, that's been spread around for a bit now.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of don't blame Michael Ansel, the creator of Rayman, for wanting to do that, because Ubisoft's kind of screwed him over quite a few times. I mean, look at Beyond Good and Evil. That didn't sell that well because Ubisoft, in their brilliant marketing plan, released Prince of Persia about the same time. You know, the Sands of Time one. So, but at the same time, it's like, if he leaves, what happens to Rayman? But again, that's just rumors, speculation, whatever you want to call it. So it's, who knows if that'll even happen at all.
All we know so far is that they're not happy to hear about this delay.
No, they're not, but they're just like, I saw a video on Facebook, someone saying, you know, thank you for all the support and all that, but we're going to make sure, we're going to at least make sure the game is going to be really good and, you know, perfected or whatever. Still a bit depressing, though.
Yeah.
Speaking of depressing, let's go ahead and move on to the next story, which I might as well say it now. One of the upcoming releases I was going to mention was Army of Two: The Devil's Cartel.
Yet another Army of Two game.
Yeah, because we love those, right?
I guess, maybe.
Apparently EA loves it too, because they loved Army of Two: Devil's Cartel so much that before the game comes out, they laid off almost the entire Visceral Montreal studio.
Montreal, thanks, guys, my country.
Visceral Montreal? Not Visceral Games?
No, there's Visceral and Visceral Montreal. Visceral, which does Dead Space, hasn't reported any layoffs yet, as far as I know.
So it's the Montreal studio that got...
So, that studio is making the new one?
That studio made the new Army of Two game, and they're apparently looking for work now.
Oh my god.
But it's like they knew that the Army of Two games are not, you know, that successful, I guess you could say.
I guess.
So it's like after the third one, you guys have to find something else. Bye.
Yeah, I really don't have anything I could add to that.
Yeah, I got nothing.
I guess EA's trying to like save on the money that they have, although they keep saying they're doing successful on like iOS and mobile apps.
Whatever keeps them afloat, I guess.
Speaking of money, anyone who was looking for a PS Vita price cuts, you're not gonna get it.
Yay.
It was announced during the coming out party for the PlayStation 4 that the Vita in North America will not see any sort of price drop. They're citing exchange rate reasons, which I think is the same reason that Nintendo said they wouldn't do a price drop for the Wii U. But at the same time...
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, think about it. 3DS made a... It's like, yeah, they made a price drop there. So you would think that maybe the Vita would do that too, and you know, because the 3DS now is doing quite successfully. So
It's funny too, because didn't I hear the 3DS didn't make the expected sales initially, and
well,
then
when it first came out, I think so. Yeah.
and then it decided to do a price drop. I believe someone was taking a salary cut for that.
Iwata, I think.
Yes, and that price drop is Zelda, the Zelda Special Edition combo was what got me to buy the 3DS, and I love it. So you think that Sony doing worse with the Vita, you think they do this too?
Actually, how long after the 3DS launch did they do that price drop?
I don't know.
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know.
I think it was for a few months.
Okay,
After
'cause
Christmas.
the Vita's been out for a year now,
Yeah.
and they're still not yielding on that?
Well, it's Sony. I think they're pretty tight on their prices, and it takes a while for their products to drop in price.
Yeah.
Because quality, I guess. In terms of their technology, anyway, products, whatever.
I hate to go from bad news to worse news, but...
Yeah, we're just full of positive news today, aren't we?
Oh, absolutely. Colonial Marines,
Yeah.
that happened.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna yield the floor to Blondie for the next, half hour or so.
Don't worry.
I'll
I'm not
leave
gonna,
for now.
Don't worry, guys. I'm not going to go on for that long. But long story short, yes, I am an Aliens fan. I rented Colonial Marines because I already knew about the negative reviews and some of the stuff. I didn't like it. In fact, it was terrible, and I hated the game. So that's pretty much it. I wrote a blog about it. If anyone even reads my blog or even knows I have one. So yeah, if you want to know more about that.
Well, apparently this goes way back to 2007 before development actually began, when Sega announced Colonial Marines. Which, by the way, announcing a game before you start development on it, great idea.
The idea's there. We can make it.
So, Sega's not without fault on this one, but apparently the funding that they gave to Gearbox was used to fund other projects not named Colonial Marines. It's rumored that it went into things like getting Duke Nukem Forever out, funding their Borderlands games, particularly Borderlands 2, and that they basically figured that the money that could be made on those games would recoup the money that Sega lent them. And on the side, they outsourced a bunch of shit to TimeGate, which was another developer that worked on the game, basically so that they could pay them less money to be able to develop the project and then recoup the money again.
Am I glad to not have bought Borderlands 2? I'm sure the game's all right. I know Unreal here has been saying it's really good. I just can't see myself buying this.
Do you want me to
game.
retract my statement?
I'm not expecting you to do that. I'm just saying that if I'm going to get this game, it's certainly not going to be at a new price. Because
Let me just refresh how much money I spent on the second game. Like, what, $80?
Whoa.
Actually,
Special edition.
it gets better though.
Yeah.
It does?
Because in spite of all this mishandling by Gearbox, there's a rumor that there's nothing Sega can do about it because of the way Gearbox worded the contract that they signed to get the funding, so basically Sega can't pursue legal action against them. That's just a rumor though, but My God.
Yeah.
And this is where my story ends.
Oh, I guess we gotta reload or whatever.
That's where I quit.
Sheesh, and I thought Silicon Knights had some pretty dumb decisions with, like, how they handled developing games and shit. Gearbox made some pretty bad decisions with, I guess, handling money. Or I wouldn't say decisions, more like took advantage or how they handled their money by Sega's publishing or whatever.
That's all I got as far as like gaming news.
So yeah, Colonial Marines sucked. Fuck you, Gearbox.
Getting away from that, let's look at new releases, or at least upcoming releases. I'm gonna retread some ground here, but I want to mention other stuff. Like Etrian Odyssey 4, Legends of the Titan coming out. Actually, by the time this is posted, it'll probably be out.
Is that the new one on 3DS?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I heard those are like really hard, old school type first-person dungeon crawler RPGs or something like that. At least that's what I've heard they are.
Alright, well, I know I've mentioned this before, but I might as well bring it up again because it's going to come out pretty soon. Castlevania Lords of Shadow Mirror of Fate 3DS.
Fix that frame rate.
I wouldn't mind getting it because I did like Lords of Shadow.
I am considering getting it. I've only saw one demo footage, and they probably could have. It's probably been improved. It will be improved by then, I should say. So
Well, it's like full 3D, like, but it's side scrolling. So
Now, I can't remember if I mentioned this one or not, but the new SimCity game is coming out in March.
oh yeah,
Okay. Is that the one that was shown at E3 last year?
I think so.
yeah, probably.
Because I vaguely remember that E3, especially the EA conference.
I haven't played a SimCity game since like 3000.
Last one I played was 2000.
Yeah, I actually played 2000.
Oni
as well.
likes playing Facebook games.
Oh yeah, how was all those SimCity social invites going?
Stop! I don't want to get on the Price is Right.
Oh, hey, Tomb Raider's coming out. But anyway,
anyway,
Yes.
what?
God of War Ascension also coming out.
Okay.
That's still a thing.
Well, it's
Yeah.
God of War. I mean, I like the games.
Is it needed?
Probably not.
Well, Sony wants more money. What can you do?
This is the Gears of War judgment of God of War. Come on.
Except God of War already did
Speaking of-
prequels.
That's coming out too.
Yeah.
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 Actually, there's a few games coming out around the same time as Gears of War Judgment.
I know. I have like that and 2 other games I'm
Like
pre-ordered.
Lego City Undercover, that's coming out the day before Gears of War Judgment, I think.
That's
I,
And before it's coming up for their consoles.
I am curious to trying that out on the Wii U at least.
And then around the same time, for the 3DS and the Wii U, Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate.
our favorite game.
Already got it pre-ordered.
Me
Yeah.
too.
I wish I had a Wii U for that because most of the River City gamers really enjoy Monster Hunter 3. So
Yeah.
Yeah, in fact, we need to play that more.
I actually went ahead and reserved both versions on Amazon since you get a $20 discount, and already paid it in full. So as soon as it ships, I'll probably get it in a couple
their
days.
ship set sales for Monster Hunter.
And I won't get
Yes.
it for another week.
This should also set sail later in March for Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon.
Hey.
Wait, that's coming out that soon?
I think so.
Really? No.
Unless it got pushed back and I didn't know about it.
No,
That's
this
cool.
isn't Rayman.
Now, being pushed back a month is Bioshock Infinite.
Isn't that coming out in March? Or did that get pushed back even more? I don't know.
I don't know, but you can support EA by also buying Army of Two Devil's Cartel later in March.
I think the funniest thing about that game is I'm not even seeing anything about it. Like 2 trailers, no gameplay footage, no other shit, no interviews,
yeah,
nothing.
I think
It's like
I think,
this.
Sorry.
This is like going to be the most under the radar release of the series.
Yeah, it's like even
No
EA
one
knows.
cares.
It's like even EA knows no one really cares about Army 2 anymore. Hence why they probably laid off the studio that made it.
Thanks for making it. You suck. Get out of my way.
I can keep mentioning it, but I might as well mention this one. Just to like have a good note to end on, because it's also probably going to be one of the last Wii games you see. Pandora's Tower.
I'm still surprised they decided to bring it over in 2013. The year where the Wii is basically dead now.
Yeah, but at least you can still play Wii games on the Wii U, so.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I guess Operation Rainfall was a success.
Yeah,
they actually went with a different approach for Pandora's Tower than they went through with the other ones, which was like the petition style, mail in Nintendo, let them know you want to hear about this thing. With Pandora's Tower, what they actually did was they put together like promotional packages of the game and then sent them to like localization and publishing people and tried to convince them to bring it stateside.
And guess who picked it up?
Xseed, of course.
The same people that picked up the last story.
Well, yeah, that last story did well for them, so.
Reminds me, I'm actually going to send a thank you letter to Xseed.
Give them my regards, too.
My regards, please.
I'll just write it on behalf of River City Gamers. How about that?
And it's like, who the hell are these guys?
These guys, I don't know who the fuck this is.
I just wish Xenoblade Chronicles wasn't rare here.
Oh, yeah, good luck.
Yeah, good luck.
I may have to import that game if I have to play it.
Yeah, unfortunately, if you didn't really get that game when it came out, now it's pretty hard to come by, and it's expensive online too, from what AngelHalo has tried to look for.
Actually, I'm going to go to GameStop.com and search within a 100-mile radius of my house for Xenoblade.
Please,
Oh,
because
geez.
there's only one location, and it's like 45 miles away, and I can't even order it online.
Let me check, too, actually.
And it's only pre-owned too, which is no surprise, but
Yeah, it was good that the game came out, but yeah, it was still kind of a little bit of a niche thing, like with most JRPGs here in North America. So, getting games like that is going to be tricky.
I found
nowadays.
a pre-owned copy 86 miles away from my house.
Oh, God.
Yeah, so on your way to Anime North, you could probably pick up that if it's still there.
Okay, pre-owned, 79.5 miles away, and it's in
Jesus.
Valley Stream, New York. Low stock.
oh well, maybe I'll import it.
Maybe you'll homebrew it, like my one friend did. He homebrewed it because he didn't think it was coming out here. I'm like, oh, I want it.
I think that's the only copy like within my state, because I tried searching a little wider radius, and yeah, there's one in Michigan and then there's one in Pennsylvania.
So unless you feel like making a phone call and driving,
Maybe over spring break? I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just have a bad feeling Pandora's Tower is going to be kind of like this too, because I have Xenoblade Last Story, but I can't really get Pandora's Tower at the moment, so. I know.
Well, you can still get copies of the last story. I've seen new copies still.
Can you buy directly from Xseed?
You probably can.
That and Last Story came out after Xenoblade, so it's still newer in that regards.
You can get the last story both standard and limited edition at Xseed right now, actually.
Ooh, you
I
should do
could've-
that.
I could have done that to get myself the limited edition. But
Yeah, the limited edition case is freaking cool. We got it
I
at launch, right?
Yeah, I got
That's
mine at
different.
launch.
I know
Yeah,
Shadow
got-
Snake did.
Yeah, I've got the case and the art book, but not the soundtrack. Was
I
there a
know that.
soundtrack CD if you pre-ordered it?
For last story, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh right, I did get that. I almost forgot I got that.
Yeah, but I'm just saying I didn't, even though I still got the case and the art book.
Oh,
Oh,
how'd that happen?
that's a shame.
I don't know. I don't know. It was probably just because I just picked it up when it was new, not pre-ordered.
Yeah, it was pre-order bonus.
Well, speaking of pickups, let's just go right into that then.
Yeah.
Random number
Okay.
generator. Who goes first? Okay, I go first. Great. This is going to be really short. I only have 4 games here. By the way, half of these I actually got through GameFly, because I had $5 coupons and needed to buy something.
You bought Mr. Bean?
No!
Who would?
Kids, and then they'd still be mad.
Okay. First thing I got, Gauntlet Dark Legacy on the GameCube. Something I'd been meaning to get for a while and just finally got around to. So, one thing on my list.
So if we play it at my house, I'll somehow still break it going to the options menu?
No, it's not on the N64.
You just remembered it, didn't you?
in the face I made in that video, yeah.
I was just
That's
like...
still my
jaw-
Ultimate Anime North highlight.
I have no idea what I did. I swear I didn't do anything wrong.
Games just bug out, man. What can you do?
Lift this curse off my butt.
A horrible night to have a curse.
Now, the rest of these I got are Wii games. First one I got, Metroid Prime 3.
Hey.
Next one I got, one of the GameFly games I got, Secret Files Tunguska.
Okay, what's that?
It's like a point-and-click style adventure game.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
And the last one I got, okay, I didn't get it directly from GameFly, but I got it because I played it through GameFly. She-Ran the Wanderer.
Oh, that's that dungeon.
That's
crawler
that...
game.
Yeah, it's
Right.
one of the Mystic Dungeon games.
Yeah. Where you can push your ferret buddy all around in the town. Because he's, well, for what I saw when you streamed it anyway.
Alright. Blondie, you have anything?
Well, okay. Actually, for my birthday, our number one fan, Amir Akago, he gifted me Hotline Miami on Steam.
Jesus, I need to play that.
Yeah, that game is interesting, to say the least.
It'll make you high. Look at all those colors, dude.
Well, that's indie games for you. And I don't know if I ever mentioned this before, but I picked up Darkness 2 on 360.
Hey.
And I actually got it brand new for like $20. And it comes with like a couple little pre-order, or not pre-order, but a little, it was limited edition, so it came with a few little bonuses. And there's even like, you can even download a digital comic of the Darkness.
You know what's
So
funny?
it's nice, since it's based off of the comic. What?
I like how there's a bunch of limited editions that aren't really limited. Like,
Well,
what-
it's like the stock of limited new copies or whatever,
You know,
I guess not many people in my town bought it.
it's funny you say that because every store that sells video games ever I go to always has limited edition copies of Dead Space 2 for PS3.
Mhm.
Always.
Because maybe the PS3 version was the limited edition.
Okay, and for the Xbox, I actually got an original Xbox. I finally got around and got an original Xbox, because I've had a 360, but I never had an actual original Xbox.
Now you can play Time Splitters with me. Oh.
What
I already have that game on GameCube, sorry.
what kind of controller do you have?
It came with an S one, I think.
Oh,
Yes.
I had to intentionally buy a large controller, and I'm like, yeah, this thing is terrible.
No, it doesn't come with that huge bulky thing that makes the third-party Dreamcast controllers look small in comparison. But so I got that, and I got 2 Xbox games for it. One of them is still compatible with 360. The other isn't. One of them is Outrun 2 on Xbox. And I briefly showed that in my latest video review of Rad Racer 2.
Oh yes, you did.
Yeah. And the second game, and it's the only original Xbox game I have that isn't compatible with 360, and it's a potential review game for Black Sheep Gaming.
I know it.
Game reviews.
I know what it
Sorry.
is.
Well, I can't even say the title of my own review show, right? It's Dino Crisis 3.
The worst game.
Mother!
I can't even remember which one was Dino Crisis 3.
The bad one.
Dinosaurs in space!
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Just in case you thought
You
just in case
can
you thought Just in case you thought time traveling was a ridiculous concept.
Yeah, that's the main reason why it's, Black Sheep for game reviewing.
It's also Black Sheep because it's really bad too, and killed the series.
Oh, and I think before that I got another Xbox game, and that's Metal Arms Glitch in the System. I've always heard about it, but never got around to it. It's basically like just a fun little third-person shooter with robots. Oh, on PSP I got the Gradius collection. It comes with like the Gradius collection, the shoot 'em up games. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, and Gaiden, I think. And finally, I think I got Ninja Gaiden Dragon Sword on DS, but I actually haven't played that yet. Oh, and Anarchy Reigns.
I guess I should buy that, should I?
I still need to try and get online with that.
Yeah, get online so we can play, man.
I have to make an ID first.
Make the damn ID already. It's been like 5 years.
Dude,
You know what?
he's probably gonna get Resident Evil 6 before he makes an ID.
I don't know.
I think
keeps skipping over it to get me other games. So.
Oh, I just remembered one more. And on Xbox Live Arcade, I got what's it called? Dust, the something tale, the Odyssey tale. It's the something tale, the Odyssey tale, or the Eltrian. I don't know. I don't have the best of memories for the title of that, because it always throws me off for some reason. I think that's it. That's all. That's from what I recall getting.
Okay, well, Unreal, what's baking in the fish house?
Depressing. Again. My rock band is dead and I'm never gonna get it back. I said depressing because I only got one game.
Well, whatever.
Usually I get like at least 3 or so. I just got one.
You don't have to get games all the time. I mean, they cost money,
I know, but cash money. I get a bunch. Whatever.
So you ain't got no game besides one?
You're missing the point. If I had no games, then you'd be allowed to say that. No. The one game, though, is probably... how do I put this? This game makes me feel buyer's remorse for completely different reasons than someone would usually feel for buyer's remorse. You know, like, where it's like, I bought this, like, oh, why'd I buy this? It's terrible and stuff. This one is kind of a weird case. Like, I'm still surprised I even bought it, because I didn't think I'd be able to... I didn't even think I would like the game. I didn't think I wouldn't be invested in it at all. Probably get really mad at it. I'd probably just end up breaking it and then not getting a refund because I broke a disc. But if you probably could already tell, that game is Dark Souls.
Well, there's something really necessarily wrong with that. I mean, I heard it's a good game.
That's not my problem with it at all.
Just how you're just not a big fan of, like, really challenging games like that, I guess.
You're making me sound like a filthy casual.
I'm not trying to. I'm just
Okay, let's put it this.
I'm just trying to see as to why you feel buyer's remorse or whatever for the game, when it has been getting really good reception.
It's more like, once I went in, there's no going back. I've stepped into my own personal hell. But...
So it's kind of like with me with F-Zero GX and beating all the chapters on very hard.
That still may be harder than Dark Souls, I don't know.
It probably is, actually. I mean, I haven't played Dark Souls, but I have played a bit of Demon Souls, and yeah, those games are pretty challenging to say the least. But in a good way.
Hell, I went in with a proper mindset. I went in knowing you gotta think and shit. Like, I was aware of this stuff. And even with that, like, I still learned a lot more. If I could probably do a write-up on this game if I felt like it. If anything, well, it's teaching me a valuable lesson.
At least it'll be a better write-up than my Aliens Colonial Marines, I would think.
So, do you like the game?
Amazingly, yes. I'm about a total of 1 day in, 24 hours in, and I'm still not done.
So it's 24 the game.
No, because I'm not CTU. Yeah, that's the only game. I would have bought something else if I found it, but hell, even when I went to a GameStop a few days ago, I didn't even want to buy anything. I'm like, I hate that. Like when you go in and it's just like, you want to go and buy something, you're like, fuck. And then you leave because there's nothing.
That can happen. I mean, if
Actually,
plus,
that
it's easy to
reminds
get
me
burned
of,
out.
that reminds me of something that happened. I don't know why I didn't mention this before, but when I was at GameStop, there was a couple who was looking at primarily the Resident Evil games. And apparently they didn't know much about them. Because I'm like browsing the PS3 section right next to them, and one of them picks up Operation Raccoon City.
Uh-oh.
And not only did I manage to talk them out of it, they wound up getting, I think, Resident Evil 5.
Better choice.
Yeah.
Better in comparison.
So, what did they say to you? Can you recall?
Well, it's just that they didn't really know what the game was like. They were looking for something that they could play together. And that's why my mind immediately went to Resident Evil 5.
6 can do that, but then that would also give them a weird mindset too.
Yeah, I even said that 6 is kind of like, you're not really sure what your experience is really going to be with it. So I didn't recommend them like buying it right off the bat.
Like, you could ease yourself into 6. At least.
Or 5.
If you're brand new to it. No, I meant like after 5, like maybe
Oh.
to 6. What? Did they get regular or gold edition?
I think Gold Edition.
Oh, thank God.
Well, the gold edition's pretty much the brand new version of it anyway.
Yeah, it's best if they could get the extra content because they'll still play a bit more together. So
Which I've yet to play actually.
Okay, but enough about what other people bought. Anything else Unreal?
I said that was one game. That's it.
Alright, well, Angel, take us home. I'm gonna get a drink.
All right. Let's see. I did pick up a few games lately. Let's see. Now, I believe I mentioned earlier that I picked up The Last Story. Ever since I decided to go on a hunt for Xenoblade, I immediately decided to buy The Last Story off of Amazon.
Well, at least you have that.
Yeah, it was pretty cheap. I think it was like $30 on Amazon. Not bad. Now, I believe I mentioned last time I was on a podcast I got Balloon Fight on the Wii U Virtual Console. Now, for anyone who doesn't know, Nintendo's pushing their Wii U Virtual Console thing, and one way they're doing it is that they're going to offer one game per month for 30 cents. Balloon Fight was one of them last month, and this month is now F-Zero, which I decided to buy for 30 cents.
The 30 cents thing is because it's like the 30th anniversary of the Famicom, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
it. So I decided to buy that because 30 cents, why not? I mean, I may have the cartridge to it, but it doesn't hurt to have a very convenient way to play it if I ever feel like it. And speaking of F-Zero, I was at a Game Over video game store last week where I was searching for video games, and one of them is F-Zero GX for $10.
Oh, hey, just had to say that because I mentioned it earlier. have fun with the hard difficulties if you ever dare to try them.
Game Shark, easy way out.
On top of that, I may mispronounce this next game, and I mainly bought it for Unreal 007 here.
Uh-oh.
But it's Tales of Symphonia.
Yeah, you said it right.
I thought you bought something else to play with me, and I just got scared.
Oh, no.
But yeah, right.
I just gotta say, unless the game is really funny, I won't do that to you.
Whatever.
But yeah, I found that. I knew you were looking for it, so I decided to pick it up.
Mm-hmm.
That's actually the first Tales game I ever played, and actually it's the first Tales game a lot of people played.
The first one I played was an emulated. I forget the name of it. It's the one where the dialogue got fucked, and it didn't seem normal.
Probably because of the fan translation or whatever you played it.
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about. Just don't know the name to
Just
it.
a bunch of
You probably were
vulgar
playing
words on a boat.
You were probably playing Fantasia.
Yes, that sounds
yeah,
right.
I was playing that.
Because that game didn't come out till like GBA in North America, and a lot of fans don't like the GBA version.
I may give Symphonia a chance before I give it.
And then you end up keeping it. It's like, you tried it.
I probably won't.
Well,
I already have enough. I already have enough video games to play.
Hey, Dom, you owe me $5.
well, even so, Symphonia is like probably one of my favorite RPGs. So yeah, good choice.
Now, a couple of weeks ago, there was actually a sale on PSN where they were slashing prices for select Final Fantasy games. A lot of the games were either half off or a quarter off. Well, actually, more accurately, they're like either $5 or $10. But I decided to get 2 games out of the sale. They're both PlayStation 1 titles, and I decided to buy Final Fantasy IX and Final Fantasy Origins, which is 1 and 2 remade. They had a bunch of other Final Fantasy games, but those are the only 2 I decided to buy off of there. I was considering Dissidia Duodecim, I think that's what it's called. And
Is that the second PSP fighting one?
yes, and Tactics War of the Lions, which is the expansion of the PlayStation 1 game or remake.
Yeah, that's the PSP version of Tactics. I actually have that.
Yeah, but I'd rather get them on UMD instead.
Well, good luck, because that game was discontinued quite a while, and I actually had to hunt that one down back then.
Oh, there's plenty of copies on Amazon, actually.
Well, I guess online, yeah, you would be able to find it. I guess no problem.
Yeah. Outside of that, I did get. I believe I only got 2 games technically. I got 1 game off of Steam, or a collection of games, if you will. I might mispronounce this one too. Penumbra.
Penumbra.
Is it?
Yeah.
Loco Jumbo.
Is it blood?
It was on sale for I think 10. I think it was like $10 or $15. I don't remember. And I believe the people who worked on Amnesia worked on those games previously. Am I right there?
I think so.
Yes. I mean, I'm doing a great job of my homework, guys. But anyway, the other game I got was off of Good Old Games that I believe a couple other people here might have gotten too.
Oh wait, I think I know what you're talking about, and I think I can include that one that I forgot to mention. But go ahead.
Yes, off of goodoldgames.com. They even made a website look a little unique for a few days. System Shock 2.
Yes.
I have not played it yet. I did hear a lot of good things about it. I mainly heard of it from back then. I believe it was 2008 or 2009, where Game Trailers had a top 10 horror games.
Yeah, and System Shock 2 was on that.
Yeah. Well, let me just put it this way, Angel. Have you played BioShock?
I've only played a tiny bit of it on a demo, but I do have it for free.
Well, System Shock 2 is basically the predecessor of that, and that, it's actually, more tense and horror and more atmospheric and stuff. And I got it off of Google Games too and played a good bit of it too. So yeah, it's quite a good game. I think you'll like it.
Well, I'm sure I will, especially since it has a co-op mode I wouldn't mind trying out someday.
Oh yeah.
I believe that concludes digital releases. I think I have only one more physical copy of the game that I decided to buy, Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance. I played a few hours of this game, and I don't regret my purchase at all. This is a damn good action game.
Well, it's platinum for you.
Yeah, I decided to pre-order it as soon as I saw that Gray Fox trailer. I'm like, I gotta have that skin.
Gray Fox!
Yes. Overall, I played a few hours of it. Love it. I like the direction this game is going. I'll just say that I personally think it's worth the money. I think that's about everything, unless you want to count me suddenly finding out that I have Fable 2 for free on Xbox 360 for some reason.
I think at this point they're just like giving away the game for free to random people in hopes that it'll actually make people interested in the series.
Well, I think what happened was that maybe a couple of years ago they had a promotion which you can get Fable 2 for free, and I decided to put it on a download, but my hard drive, I had too much stuff on my hard drive to even put it in, so I just left it there for a while. Then when I finally got a 120 gigabyte hard drive, which is just a month ago, I realized I did this. I'm like, whoa, free video game. Okay.
Yeah, free average game. Yay.
Yay.
Lowered expectations every day.
So is that it?
Yeah, I believe that's it.
I actually need to add stuff now that I remember. At ABAP. ABAP. What I wanted to add was I almost forgot that I also did pick up System Shock 2 when it came out. Yeah, I can't believe I forgot about that.
Oh, I did too.
Like, it's the first time I've ever gotten to play it.
Yeah, the only reason I probably forgot was because the Skype window was over the desktop icon of it.
I usually forget if I buy PC games in general. Well, but another thing, the Game Boy player was another thing I got.
Oh, yes. You were streaming that, and I caught a little bit of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now you have one just like me.
Yep. Fuck you, Harry Potter. You're still bad. Yeah, it was like $45 came with the disc and, of course, the unit, and it works really well.
That's not bad.
I'm happy with it.
That's not bad. They normally ship 50 brand new back in the day.
Yeah. Usually the disc is more expensive than the unit now.
Well, it's the only way to get the unit working, as far as I know.
Yeah. You have to use the disc because it's part of the software.
And I'm glad I found that out before. Like I've been contemplating getting one for a while, and way back I was like, oh, you really need the disc? That's stupid. So that like held back my search a bit, and I finally bought one. That is it. So I guess it's not just one game, it's two in a unit to play GBA games.
So do we go on to questions now?
No, we have something to discuss.
All
Something
right.
that starts with a P and ends with a PlayStation 4. Sony officially announced the PlayStation 4, for better or worse.
Yay.
Well, it's bound to happen sooner or later.
I'm gonna look sad announcing a new Infamous game.
And honestly, I really have no idea what to make of it. Number one, because I missed the conference. And I still haven't seen it yet. Number two, because I see something I like about the PS4, and then almost immediately after I see something I don't like about the PS4. Which is still better than I can say about the rumors for the 720. Just as an example, something I like, it's not going to require a constant internet connection. Something I don't like, not backwards compatible, and PSN purchases don't carry over.
Oh.
Yeah, that's something the Wii U kind of has an advantage over, doesn't it?
Yes.
Something I like. I do like that they've tweaked the hardware a bit so that it's easier for people to develop for it. Something I don't like. What the fuck is that controller?
It looks like they just slapped like a digital alarm clock on it or something.
I know it's a touchpad. I like to say, isn't there like a skit on The Simpsons where someone says something good, like, and everyone's like, yay, and then the opposite for something else?
It was the episode with the teachers union versus the Principal Skinner. And they were talking about getting funding, and then Principal Skinner always says, oh, we have to raise taxes.
Right.
Oh. And it eventually just turns into, come on, yay! Makes the money symbol with his hands. Oh.
Oh yeah, the taxes!
Alright, so anything else you like, don't like?
We're the video game.
There was a few, I guess.
I counted 3.
That's a few.
Yeah, but that's still...
The new IP one, which I think was called Knack?
Yes.
Yeah.
K-N-A-C-K.
That one looks vaguely interesting. It looks
And it's
kind
not
of
My Sharona Knack.
Maybe it'll have the soundtrack.
It better.
Oh no.
Anyway, the game looks kind of like a action adventure. It looks kind of cartoony, where you play as. It looks like you play as this big thing of like basically like blocks, and you can like form and stuff, like to form as the big guy or whatever.
Katamari Damacy.
Well, you're not rolling around picking up shit, so I don't think so.
Yeah, but you're getting bigger. You get more powerful and get to wreck more shit, including the universe.
So who knows? That might be okay, I guess. There was a few other trailers for a few other games. So one was like a new Killzone game.
Yeah, the fourth. Technically the fourth game.
Yeah,
Shadow
it looks
Fall.
interesting. Insert Double Dragon 5 references.
What? Why would that be Double Dragon 5?
The
Shadowfall.
Oh, the Shadowfall's right. But yeah, new Killzone. It looks, again, vaguely interesting. It's sci-fi future shooter, even though we've had quite a few of them.
Graphically, it looks great, but it's...
That's a trailer though, so it's probably not even...
Actually, no. I hate bringing this up because I really don't like this. Jimmy Fallon Live.
What about Jimmy Fallon?
Okay, what happened on Jimmy Fallon Live? They brought the PS4 on. Still didn't get to see the system. But on Jimmy Fallon Live, they played Killzone Shadowfall. That wasn't a trailer, because as soon as Jimmy Fallon takes the controls, everything goes terrible. As in, he's aiming everywhere, he's fucking walking into enemies. But since it's like a preview build,
so
he's
it's like-
invincible. So
So it's like Zero Master playing an FPS.
oh god. So what I'm trying to
offense,
get at is apparently what they showed at the conference, I can't believe it almost escaped me. What they showed at the conference was real gameplay.
Okay, fair enough.
So at least that helps.
So it's not like Killzone 2 where they showed a pre-rendered trailer.
Yeah, that is nothing like the final product. But I'm not saying that in a bad way. It's just you'll notice that it's not the same when you look at it now.
Okay.
Actually, there's something else I forgot for things that I do like about it, which is the apparently massive amount of support that it's getting from developers. Like, they released a full list of it. It's ridiculously long. I mean, it has some of the usual suspects you'd expect, like
Ubisoft.
EA, Konami, Take-Two. Then there's other stuff on here that I'm kind of happy to see, like Atlas is on the list.
Hey.
Platinum Games also on the list. Tecmo Koei. A bunch of other developers that are spread all across like Japan and Asia and North America and Europe, and just a wide showing of support actually.
That's always good.
This is gonna be the best console ever.
Yeah, we'll see about that.
It'll be the best console ever a couple years after launch.
We don't know the price though.
We don't know the price, we don't know what the launch library is going to look like.
We don't know what the console itself looks like.
And that's a problem that's happened a lot with new consoles lately is, like, the launch library has just been really minimalistic.
And you know what's funny?
It's probably just going to be a Ridge Racer.
Oh god, no. Use
I'd
your
better
Vita
have
as a
Ridge
rear
Racer on
view
my
mirror.
PS4.
But what I'm noticing is kind of like with how they announced the Wii U, all they showed was the controller. The difference, though, was with the Wii U, people didn't know if it was a new system or not. With PlayStation 4, it's clear it's a new system. They made that clear.
Well, yeah, but even so, it's like the Wii U tablet looks much more interesting and more diverse than that little tiny screen they just slapped on the controller on the PS4. I mean, it looks like they just took the Dreamcast VMU and just did that.
Am I gonna have to pull up a picture of that for this podcast? I mean, because that screen is really tiny.
Well,
Why not?
I mean, this does look larger than the VMU screen, but even so, it's just sort of like just the concept of having a little screen or whatever on your controller instead of like a giant pad, you know. But yeah, and then the only other thing we know is that they showed was that it is going to be out by the holidays of this year.
Yeah.
I think I recall seeing the Oya gamepad, and I gotta say, if you know about the touchpad on that one, I think it's bigger than what's on the PS4 controller, and that's supposed to be like a small game console kind of deal.
Like, I'm just looking at pictures of what the touchpad would look like right now, based on the shots that we saw earlier, and I'm just thinking, what are you gonna do with this? Because it looks like it's only about the size of the two joysticks combined.
It basically might just be a replacement for like the start and select and the home button from the looks of it. But even so, it's like, I think they're pretty much saving the whole revealing the actual console thing for like E3 and more titles and stuff, or more details about the titles for it.
I will give it this, it at least looks comfortable.
Oh yeah, PlayStation controllers are always been well designed. In terms of like the other games they showed, there was some like car thing they showed. It was basically just car porn.
Drive Club?
Drive
Yes.
Club, yeah. It was basically just car porn. I mean, if it's like, hey, if you like Gran Turismo, you might like this too.
Wasn't that like for Sony tablets or something?
I don't even remember. I just remembered cars.
Because I remember seeing like tablets on there, like a outline of a tablet.
Maybe. I'm not sure. And I think they also showed a sneak peek for a new Infamous game.
Yeah.
I forget what it was called. Infamous
Second Son or something?
Yes.
Infamous Second Son, S-O-N.
Yeah.
Well done, son.
But I guess that's good if you like Infamous. The Infamous games.
It's gonna be weird. It could be like a DMC version of Infamous, because it seemed more darker and edgier already, and I'm like, really? Come on, you're about superheroes. You can be evil if you want. Why not show both sides? Come on now. Whatever.
Well, maybe the next trailer would be a good one.
The only thing I really remember about the Infamous thing is just the sad guy that announced it. Just his face. You may as well post a picture of the face. Yeah, it's just like, I don't even know how to describe it.
Speaking of sad guys, remember when David Cage took the stage?
By the way, new technology. Here's this old man. Bye.
By the way, only mention of Omicron I've ever seen in recent times.
I think
And it was only for polygon count.
yeah.
So when's there going to be an Omicron HD version?
May as well play Dreamfall instead.
You know, your only fully interactive video game. I mean, it'd be a great opportunity to fix whatever problems Omicron had.
We even played Omicron. I think SCR has that game, and that's it. In terms of us, anyway.
Yeah.
Anything else about the PS4?
Well, they did put a good focus on like the social interaction you can do with it, and
the social gaming aspect.
The social gaming aspect, as well as being able to like stream what you're playing and stuff like that.
I guess that's pretty cool.
The whole social gaming thing makes me groan, though, honestly.
Though I will.
Hey, it's basically just taking your friends list and combining it with like something like Facebook or Twitter.
It got to the freaking point where the controller has a share button. A dedicated share button on the controller.
Yeah.
I don't even think there's a pause button on the fucking PlayStation controller because I didn't find it.
Well, I said earlier that's probably where the touch screen's going to be for the pause or whatever.
But that's what?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I have really nothing I can add about the PS4. I'm still waiting for more info to come out on it before I try and.
Okay, during the conference, they talked more about Bungie's new game, Destiny. Not much was said, but like, if you want to know more about Destiny, Bungie has video documentaries that you can watch. Nothing really new was said other than it's like, oh, this is going to be on PS4. That's it.
Yeah, and Ubisoft showed off another trailer for Watch Dogs. That's going to be on PS4. That game's going to be on PS4.
Mm-hmm.
And
it's on everything else though, so.
Yeah, but at least they're saying, hey, it's on PS4. And in probably one of the most puzzling decisions I've seen a company do. Blizzard came on and announced that Diablo 3 is going to be on the PlayStation 4.
I just said why.
Is that going to be the only game that's going to require you to be online just to play single player?
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I don't know.
They will still probably.
I don't even know if Battle.net would work on that or what they're doing with that. But yeah, that really bewildered me because it's a high-selling or high-profile PC game that most people pretty much already bought on PC if they wanted. I mean, I have it on PC already, and it just seems like why would they even bother to put on the PlayStation 4? Except unless you maybe want to play with a few buddies with 4-player, other than that, it's like, why? It's almost like the Minecraft on 360, even though a lot of people probably did get that on 360 anyway.
Yeah, I believe that did sell on 360.
So yeah, I mean, so Sony just probably wants. Sony and Blizzard probably just made a deal. So and then. It's going to be on the PlayStation 4. It'll probably sell a fair amount anyway, so more money for them, I guess. Even though it seems kind of pointless that a lot of people probably already got Diablo 3 on the PC anyway.
More the merrier, I guess.
Yeah.
So,
but that's really just a port, so who knows?
There's another dumb thing. When Square Enix,
right,
when they went on, they you're gonna love this. First of all, they showed a tech demo that was for the PC that was shown last year.
Yay!
For the PS4, the same tech demo for the same engine.
I think they were just saying, "Hey, we're gonna make this for the PS4 as well," or have our new tech demo thingy.
It's just they reused it, and that was for PC instead of making a new tech demo using the PlayStation 4 technology. So it's just, I don't even know what to think. But there's even more. They said they're gonna announce a game at E3, not at the conference. Just like, we're gonna announce a game at E3. Bye.
Yeah, that's all they had to say, didn't they? Yeah.
It was pretty bad.
Wow.
But the overall conference itself was not bad. It's just we just need to wait for more information, really. So I think that about does it.
Yeah, the conference was 2 hours, and Media Molecules showed something, showing off something with the Move.
That's still a thing?
Yeah.
Oh wait, wasn't there also I keep remembering stuff. Wasn't there also another game made by the guys who did Braid that they're making? This sort of like a puzzle adventure-ish type game.
And that was the most boring presentation of the entire show.
But it's art and pretentious. Ooh. The hipsters will love it.
Mm-hmm. Art attack.
Although, to be serious, it does actually look vague. Well, I keep seeing this term for this vaguely interesting.
You know, speaking of the conference, I did miss most of the conference, but didn't someone here mention something about them introducing a new version of the PlayStation Eye?
I don't think so.
Yes, the new version of the PlayStation Eye coincides with that new controller. Because it seems like they integrated Move technology into the controller, and I'm just guessing that because that color thing on the back was different colors, just like the Move ball.
Yeah, so that the camera can pick it up like the Move. So they're probably going to do something with that.
I think Blondie summed up my final thoughts on the PS4, which is PS4. It's vaguely interesting.
I don't think I have anything else to add to
Okay.
it. I wasn't a fan of the conference. It could have been much better, but they at least got some stuff out. Not a lot, but I don't know. Right now, I'm not feeling it for the system.
I guess we'll see what happens from there.
Yeah, they'll probably show off more stuff at E3.
Wonder how Xbox is gonna do, actually.
Here's Connect. That's what you want, right?
Well, we still have a lot of questions that need to be answered about the PS4. But there are viewer questions that need to be answered by us.
It's
Yay!
more than one.
Hey, plus
Again.
one to segues.
Oh, great.
And
Yeah,
I'm going to do
now
you
we
guys a
get
favor
questions.
and list all these questions for you while I answer this one from Hakago! Because it's actually directed to me.
Okay.
Uh,
So, actually, do you want me to read you the question?
if you want, go ahead.
Okay. Since I can't think of any better questions this time, I'm gonna ask this to SCXCR directly. In your James Bond Jr. review, what the hell was up with the bit where you microwave a can of Coke and then try to eat it? Were you referencing something or making fun of some part of the game and I just didn't get the joke? Please explain yourself.
There was absolutely no point to that. It was just non sequitur.
So in other words, just you being random, as usual.
How did the can taste?
Like aluminum?
You should have microwaved Dr. Pepper. I thought that was your favorite drink.
But if you microwave a can in the microwave, it'll probably explode.
I don't really like Dr. Pepper that much.
Really? Oh, was it cherry Coke then?
Yeah.
Oh,
Actually,
I'm
right.
sorry I mixed it up.
It's only the soda that appears in almost all of my videos.
What are you,
Actually-
advertising?
He's sponsored.
I'm
But now
just
I
amazed.
can't say stuff like, fuck, what the fuck was that?
Well, I gotta say, I'm amazed that you don't blow up your house microwaving aluminum.
That's why you unplug the microwave.
But yeah, hope that answers your question. There was absolutely no point to that. It was basically just an excuse to get up and do the James Bond Jr. run. But moving on to our next question. Full Scale Replica asked, what's your opinion on ports these days? Normally people dismiss ports, but the 3DS seems to be flourishing with the second lives it gives Star Fox 64, Ocarina, and now DKC Returns. Do you think ports of older console titles to handheld media is a good way to add longevity, or is it just lazy? Personally, all I want is Ogre Battle 64 to be on a handheld.
That's a good question, especially for you, Angel, since you just started a show a while ago about ports.
Yes. That'll be a tough one to go through, but
Also, Donkey Kong Country Returns is just the follow-up of Donkey Kong Country, not really a port, I
Yeah,
don't think. But
Oh.
whatever.
but then again, there's also the Donkey Kong Country games on Game Boy Advance, which came from the Super Nintendo games. But we're talking recent, right?
I suppose it could be recent stuff. Like the guy in the question mentioned the 3DS and that how most particularly the earlier 3DS titles were pretty much like ports.
Well, let's say for full scale replica here, let's keep it to recent. And I'll have to say, I think it would help expose games more. Because I gotta say, I played Ocarina of Time. I love the game, but I love it even more on the 3DS. Not only for a couple extra things they did to it, like having a hint system, which, believe it or not, is pretty helpful. As well as what else? As well as having a boss rush mode of some kind. Not exactly a boss rush, but you select your bosses. But just the fact that you can take it anywhere and play it is something I love about it. And Star Fox 64 also works pretty well on the 3DS. I've played a little bit of that. As for other games, I'm one of those people who are just begging Nintendo to say that please bring Majora's Mask to the 3DS. I would love to play that again, updated. I can't really say it's lazy per se, because as I mentioned earlier, it's exposing the franchises, the series to other platforms.
I would agree with that, but there are some cases where it can come across as that. Like, for example, do you know of the PS2 game Rygar?
I heard of it.
It's basically like a reboot of the old NES and arcade Rygar. However, Tecmo decided in 2008 to make a Wii version. Keep in mind that this is a port of a game that came out, of a PS2 game that came out in 2002. And to me, it just seemed like they just wanted their foot into the Wii money, because the Wii was being really popular and successful. The only differences they made in the Wii version of Rygar was they added motion controls. There's a new mode that they just tacked on, where you basically have to fight enemies using swinging the Wiimote. And for whatever reason, they just changed the costume of the main character to look more, I guess, anime. So it just sort of seemed like a cash in for the Wii audience or whatever. Saying, hey, here's Rygar, action adventure game on the Wii. Even though at that point it was like a PS2 game came out 6 years ago, when most ports on the Wii were at least only like a couple years old. But what were you gonna say?
I guess I do see your points there. Kind of think of it, I might recall playing games like that. A not so recent example, like Final Fight on Final Fight Streetwise. I don't think I need to go into detail about how bad that port is.
Yeah, ports can be hit or miss sometimes.
My opinion on ports is it's kind of mixed. Because on the one hand, ports are useful if it's a game that's not being sold anymore or that's really hard to find. And it can be kind of like a temporary adrenaline shot to the longevity of a system, or just helping it get off the ground in the first place. But on the other hand, knock it off with the ports already, okay? I seriously see people talking about reasons to buy a PS Vita.
Nah.
And one of them is Persona 4 Golden, port. The new Muramasa game, port. I am not going to buy a system purely for ports, even if they do have added content. Because it's usually not enough added content to make me think, wow, I want to get this again. Something I already paid, well, sometimes I didn't pay full price for them, but I want to pay full price for this again to have virtually the same experience.
Well, but on the other hand, you could say that at least for the people who haven't got the experience of those games yet, can get the new updated versions.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, though.
Yeah.
It's like if you haven't played it before or you can't find it to be able to play it, then they can be useful.
I might as well address this right now in case someone asks me this. For those who have seen my trials and errors of porting, you might have noticed I have multiple copies of certain games on different systems, like Resident Evil 4, for example. I am kind of guilty of buying Resident Evil 4 again and again, only a total of 3 times, admittedly. But to be fair, I really love the game so much that I just wanted to buy newer versions of it, and to be honest, I don't regret the decision at all, especially since I came across the Wii edition.
Yes, the Wii edition, where the shooting gallery is absolutely no challenge now.
Yeah, I demonstrated that in full force. Like, alright, let's try it.
Yeah, but sometimes the porting process can go up and down. Like, I remember when they ported Okami on the Wii, and that's actually when I first played it. I liked it, but the controls were kind of janky a little bit on the Wii version of Okami, because sometimes when I try to do the brushing, it would get all messed up, or sometimes, and then for like evading you have to use the nunchuck, which isn't that precise. So I decided to get the PS2 version, went back and got the original PS2 version, or found a copy of it, and I found it to be better in terms of like controls. That's just me though. I mean, I'm sure there are people that can get used to the Wii version of the controls and such, but that's just my personal preference. However, since the Wii version, there's been a new version on PSN that's HD, and it actually uses move support. So if you're used to the Wii, so even if you're used to like the kind of the Wii setup it had, you can use the move for that. So it can be a process of getting it just right, but when it does, it can work.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and move on to the next question. G. Lars asked, 2 small questions. Number 1, what are some additions or subtractions you want to see in the next Smash Bros. Roster? And 2, is Blondeguygamer ever going to do a podcast?
We can address 2 immediately.
Okay.
Hey, Blondie, when are you doing another podcast?
I don't know.
Oh, wait,
What
sorry.
are we
When are you ever going to do a podcast? Because you haven't been on 2 of these already.
Yeah.
Okay, I hate to break it to you guys, but I'm going on my own. This is going to be called the Blondeguygamer Show.
Oh,
And I'm
The
just
Blondcast?
yeah, sure. And I'm leaving the band, group, and starting my own solo career of podcasting. And
Who are you, Peter Gabriel? Fuck you. We'll be fine on our own. We'll become a trio and make pop music and hook music.
I'm gonna go start my own
Next day on
podcast.
Site News, a fond farewell to Blondeguygamer.
Screw you guys. I'll have to go do my own podcast with blackjack and hookers. In fact, forget the blackjack and the podcast. But no, in all seriousness, I'm not sure what you meant by that question, but if you mean in terms of like somehow my own podcast, no, there's no point to do that when I'm occasionally am in this one. So
Yeah.
I hope that answers that part of your question.
And
So the Smash Brothers question next.
Yeah. Is there any more people or people you don't want in Smash Brothers?
I'm gonna need to think about this.
I don't care. There's my answer. I really don't.
Well, how about the characters from Xenoblade? That's Nintendo.
Yes.
Yeah, but we'll see. Hell, if anything, they could be assist trophies if they bring that back.
Better have Rhine time.
Oh God.
That's the finisher.
For me, I don't know. I've never really had problems with rosters. Like, if anything, I would just like think about Nintendo characters only, not third party. So that's why I'm not going to say, oh, put in Mega Man or put in
Simon
Raider.
Belmont.
Simon Belmondo.
Actually, I would love either that or Alucard, but
Well, they had Sonic and Snake in the last one.
Well, yeah, but for me personally, I'm just thinking Nintendo only. I don't know. Remove tripping, not any characters. Okay.
now I do know that for the next Smash Brothers, Namco is supposedly going to be working on it. So that could open even more possibilities for third-party characters.
Rick from Slaughterhouse.
Put Kilik in it so people can complain about him in another game.
You'll have to dream for Rick. I would love to see him in Smash Brothers. But I mean, I know Snake.
Rip Mario spine.
I mean, I know they got Snake working, but
Well, I have a couple ideas, and they're both from Hudson franchises. But one that's actually been
Bomberman?
talked about before by people, which was Bomberman.
Oh,
I think there's a lot you could do with that character.
throw
Oh, yeah.
bombs, fart bombs, plant bombs, fire bombs,
And
dying
the other
in one hit.
I don't know what all you'd be able to do with the character, but Bonk.
His down B could be his like when you're in midair, just like do the head slam.
Yeah, I could see
I
that.
like it
working.
neat.
Bonk.
But as far as subtractions, there's not really anyone I'd want to see taken out of Smash Brothers. Maybe Sonic. I think that experiment kind of ran its course.
Well, Sonic's popular though, so.
I want Robonick in the next.
Popular!
Evil Dr. Robonick for next Smash Brothers.
I guess I'll go ahead and throw this out right now. Travis Touchdown?
Fuckhead. Okay, clearly not allowed already.
Okay, next.
His finisher is just getting on a toilet and saving.
No, that's one of his taunts.
But next question. The Opox asked, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Opox, whatever. 2 questions. 1, what game series from Capcom would you like to see brought back from the dead besides Mega Man?
Sorry, Zero.
If Capcom someday, somehow would stop being butt-fuck retarded. That's his words, not mine.
That's putting it subtly.
I'll just throw one out right off the bat. Do some rival schools.
Oh, I'd love to see that.
I sort of mentioned this earlier with the game I got, but I don't know if this would be possible considering the third game, how that went. Dino Crisis.
I wouldn't mind seeing that being revived.
Underwater dinosaurs. Okay, you can't kill it harder than that.
Well, there has been actually underwater dinosaurs. My brother would know.
Deep Fear with dinosaurs.
God, no.
I don't think there has been a Breath of Fire game lately.
You know what? There hasn't.
Breath of Fire Emblem. Come on.
I know there's some Capcom games I can think of, but
Or how about a new Zack and Wiki game? That's an IP you guys didn't really seem to do much with after the first game.
I still haven't played that.
I really can't think of any.
I know, it's because most of the franchises they have are still pretty prominent.
Well, the more notable ones.
Well, yeah. I'm pretty sure there's some obscure ones you can probably think
Can I
of.
pull up a list of Capcom games?
Sure.
Yeah.
What if they brought back Final Fight properly?
I would love to see that. Don't make it anything like Streetwise. If I ever see it be anything like the new DMC, I don't really want to sound mean here, but I would probably just disown Final Fight altogether.
Oh, Strider?
Yeah.
I know they attempted to reboot this or follow it up actually, and Bionic Commando. I know that's one of the more recent ones, but they have
The Xbox Live Arcade PSN ones were pretty successful. They had two of those.
Yeah, I didn't
Hell,
really
the first Rearmed was one of the major reboots that came around.
Yeah, I really, really loved Rearmed. I'll have to finish Rearmed 2 someday, but I would like.
But you're saying you would like to see another full-fledged game like the attempted Bionic Commando one.
Yeah, I did enjoy the Bionic Commando, the one before Rearmed 2. The story was lacking, but the gameplay I really enjoyed. I just wish they would at least be able to follow up their supposed cliffhanger ending. Yeah, I just really want to see another Bionic Commando game. Even if it doesn't have multiplayer, I don't care. Just give me another Bionic Commando.
I just thought of one.
I thought of one too.
Make
Want me to go?
another Power Stone.
You stole it. Okay, I guess I'll stay silent for the rest of the question.
I guess you could say you stole your stone.
But he doesn't have it, and fuck you.
Oh,
But yeah,
Jesus.
Power Stone, that'd be another good one. If they somehow brought that back. You know, with online gaming these days, it'd be perfect. Why wouldn't they?
And then it gets laggy, and then they complain.
Well, that's if you have shitty internet like me. Whoop-de-doo.
Or just shitty netcoding developed into the game.
And I don't know how this would be received, but I wouldn't be opposed to another God Hand.
Oh man. Ooh,
Would-
yeah.
Would Capcom still have the Rise of God Hand, I think?
I don't know.
Or is it...
Isn't that downloadable on PSN right now?
God Hand is, yeah.
Yes. I just recalled that Capcom has made a couple of beat-em-ups I would love. The only problem is this will probably require getting the licensing. But if they were ever able to bring these games back, I would definitely love to see The Punisher again. And especially Alien vs. Predator.
Which one?
The beat-em-up that Capcom made on the arcade.
Oh. Well, there's already been quite a few other Alien vs. Predator games, so I don't know about that.
Yeah, I haven't played much of the shooter ones, but I really loved the beat-em-up. I mean, that even has 3 players. And think about it. Also, the Dungeons and Dragons game beat-em-ups that they made, those are pretty good too.
So should we go ahead and move on to his second question?
Yeah.
Yes.
what are your opinions about cartoons or anime based on video games?
They generally suck.
Well,
There's
yeah,
always
but
exceptions.
yeah, there are a few exceptions actually. We can probably list off the actual good ones instead of, because we just list off the bad ones. We'll be here for even longer. But yeah, in terms of like ones I've seen, Double Dragon cartoon was probably the dumbest one I've seen. Just in terms of like, they just made a half-ass cheesy cartoon. That's all they really did. And it was so obvious a marketing ploy for toys, because they had these bright, colorful vehicles and costumes, and it's like, let me put it this way: they established the vehicles and everything in that cartoon first before they actually introduced the character that made them in the first place. so you know the priorities in that one. But on the flip side, when I watched Earthworm Jim, the cartoon for Earthworm Jim 3D, I actually genuinely really enjoyed that cartoon. It was really funny. So when done properly, even though it's kind of a once in a blue moon type of thing, they can actually be really good.
Another bad example is Bubsy, unless it's the other way around. I'm not sure how Bubsy worked. I really don't.
Well, that was a pilot though. Same with Battletoads.
Oh god, the Battletoads one. That is the most infamous example of why.
You know, it's at everything you guys have named so far I've watched.
Of course you have.
I've
seen everything.
Like,
You've seen every
not just
cartoon
watched
in the 90s.
online, I watched it when it was on TV.
Of course you have. You've seen every like late 80s, early 90s cartoon.
All without cable.
I saw the well, yeah, it was on like Kids WB or something like that, or
Even
Fox Kids or whatever
Battletoads?
it was called at the time. I watched the Bubsy cartoon, I watched the Battletoads cartoon, the Darkstalkers cartoon, the Street Fighter cartoon, the Double Dragon cartoon.
Oh god.
They sucked. Earthworm
Yeah,
Jim was good though.
Yes.
You could tell that they were really putting effort into that one to like make the universes fit.
Yes.
And I even saw a
I
little bit of the
wish I had
Darkstalkers
that.
anime. I wouldn't go so far as to call it good, but it's a bit better than the US cartoon because at least the characters look like what they're supposed to.
Yeah, generally the anime cartoons I think are better, or sometimes are usually regarded better, like the Street Fighter or I think there was a Devil May Cry cartoon or anime actually.
Yeah,
Yeah,
was
there's a Devil May
Cry.
Cry anime.
Beautiful Joe had an anime.
Oh yeah. Which most people regard them as okay, I guess.
I believe there was also a cartoon based on Dragon Slayer. I recall seeing one episode back then on Boomerang. I don't remember if it was good or not, but I do remember that there was a GameCube game which looked like it took a lot from the cartoon.
Oh,
If
we forgot about the Mortal Kombat cartoon.
it's combat time!
They actually do have skeletons. What the fuck?
Deeper cut.
Yep.
But my opinion on them is just like with anything else. If you're going to do it right.
Yeah, don't just do it as a cash in.
Well, what about the Super Mario cartoon?
There's like,
Which Super Mario cartoon?
there was just Super Mario Brothers Super Show. If there's anything I remember the most about that one is the live action stuff, and I still love the Rowdy Piper episode with that. Oh my god!
Now that you mentioned it, I only saw They Lived last year, and remembered the cartoon a couple years before then, and I'm just imagining something Super Mario related in They Live.
Oh no.
But let's see, there was Super Show, then there was a show based on 3 and World, I believe.
Yes.
I'm here to chew mushrooms and kick Koopa shells. And I'm all out of mushrooms.
But that means you'll die in one hit. Then, can't believe we didn't mention this. Sanic.
Yes.
Sonic's had the good and the bad as far as cartoons.
Yeah.
1 out of 3 is good, by the way.
1 out of 3 ain't bad.
Well, there's
Yeah,
also Sonic X.
Oh yeah, there's Sonic X, Sonic Underground.
Underground was part of the trilogy, I thought. X was anime though.
I don't think X was bad, was it?
It was just like, it suffered
was-
from the 4Kids curse. If you
Yeah, the F-Zero cartoon kind of suffered from
Oh
that,
God.
too.
It didn't
that's
even
not-
finish
that's
here
not-
in America.
And let's not forget the infamous ending of the actual anime of F-Zero.
So at least that's memorable.
Oh yeah. And Kirby too.
Again, 4Kids.
Kirby.
Shut up.
Kirby.
That would probably piss Foffy off. I'm not sure what he thinks of that show.
So yeah, it can be a mixed bag with. It's like it just depends on how much.
I did
the source
remember
material
genuinely
they're actually
enjoying
taking
Super
and-
Mario.
and how much effort they're putting, and how much effort you're actually putting into, to making it a legitimate adaptation.
Well, I believe that does it for viewer questions.
Yep,
As usual,
that's-
if anyone wants to have a question answered by us on the podcast, you can leave a message in the comment section of the YouTube upload. You can leave it on the website when this goes up on that. Or you can just PM us or ask us on our Facebook page, facebook.com/RiverCityGamers. Alright, let's bring this home with video updates. Angel, why don't you start us off? We'll go alphabetically.
Okay. There's been some complications on my end, mainly with the process for my next review. Mainly because I have this script, and it's like it comes off really dry. Like when it comes to script writing, you want to try to keep it interesting. Like you can be really informative, but at the same time, you want to try to spice things up to keep the person interested. And I just felt like I lacked it for that at the time. So I think I mentioned it in the last podcast I was in that I was doing 25 to Life. So I'm just gonna scrap that for now and move on to something else. I've recorded gameplay footage of this. Actually, I'll say this much: it's a handheld device I've had when I was little. I managed to get some decent quality in recording it. It's gonna look a little more, I guess you can say, in the words of the AVGM, guerrilla quality.
Guerrilla film style.
Yes. But I have a lot more material I can work with for this one. I just need to get down to writing the script and see what I can do. I do have a couple of plans for trials and errors of porting. I don't think I have too much of anything in terms of fancy planned, but I am considering going into one of my favorite beat 'em ups, if you haven't figured it out already. But I might either go for that or Double Dragon instead.
Well, Zero's already done an Arcade Aficionados video on Double Dragon, but go ahead.
Well, there's a lot of different versions that might be worth looking at.
Zero briefly mentioned them, but yeah.
Yeah, and not just the first game, but also the rest of the games. I think the only one that doesn't have other versions is the fourth game.
Well, let me just ask you this: do you have the Xbox Live version of Double Dragon?
I don't have that. Maybe.
Am I gonna have to give you the footage of me playing the trial of that game too?
You might have to, because I did play the trial of it. It's
Well-
basically just the arcade version.
Well, you're lucky I'm still holding on that footage because I know that game on Xbox Live has been discontinued.
Oh, thank you. And by extension, pretty much the same as the Genesis version too. I think that's it as far as updates go. I am considering probably doing vlogs, but no promises because I can't really think of topics to go on right now. I gotta worry about making sure I don't die while exercising and knowing human organs. So that's it for now.
Alright, Blondie?
Well, I've had some ups and downs with my video equipment lately. Starting with the ups, I've recently gotten a new HD camera. It's a little HD JVC Vario camera that I actually found off of eBay for a really cheap price. And I'm really pleased with the quality of that camera. so far, even if the battery life's not as good as my Samsung. But hey, what can you do? I don't record for long sessions anyway. But yeah, if you see my latest new series video on Rad Racer 2, that's pretty much the extent of the quality I've managed to get off of that. Granted, because of the light in my room, I had to like adjust the color brightness and the color and the brightness a bit. But other than that, it's really good quality. I'm pleased with it so far because my Samsung has been a good little camera, but I wanted to upgrade to HD. And speaking of upgrading to HD, I also, and this is where the down part comes in. I attempted to get a new HD capture software and new equipment for that. Unfortunately, I got a Roxio HD capture device, and the software doesn't work on my computer, and I can't really find a good solution for it. So, and somehow in the midst of trying to get this thing to work and messing around with other programs, or I don't even know what I did, but the software I usually use to record Dazzle, my regular Dazzle, it won't work with my Dazzle for some reason. So now my game footage recording has been pretty limited, and that the only thing I can get working with Dazzle now is Virtual Dub. And so recording game equipment now is going to be a bit more of a hassle, and unfortunately it'll be kind of a bit of an offset between my HD camera quality, because I'll be running videos in HD but the game footage won't be. But whatever, what can you do? But despite that setback, I'm going to still try and record more game footage for my next videos. Grabbed by the Ghoulies is next up for Black Sheep Game Reviews. I'm just gonna pretty much just go for it and try and just record game footage for that, even though it'll look kind of but I don't care. As long as I record the game footage, it's still something I can showcase. And so yeah, I mean, and hopefully I can get the next. They made a sequel out sometime soon, which is actually going to be on a bit more of a recent game, and actually a sequel of one of my favorite games of all time, actually. So I look forward to that. But yeah, I mean that's just life, You have your good luck, and then you have bad luck, and oh yeah, one thing I forgot to mention about good luck is that I actually found a copy of the Neverhood for PC for like $3. So yeah, and that game goes for expensive online. I forgot to mention that in the pickups earlier. So that's just how life is. You get good luck and you get bad luck sometimes. But I'm not completely, out. I'll still try and make videos. So that's about it.
Okay, I'll go ahead and go next. That is how the alphabet works, right? A, B, S. Yes. Okay.
Yes.
I've unfortunately had to push back the next episode of SC on for a little while because I've been absolutely blindsided by midterms and papers lately, and I'm still not done. In fact, probably the worst part of it is coming this week, where we have like oral interviews for Japanese class, which basically means you go into a room alone with 2 Japanese professors and carry on a 7-minute conversation with them. It's terrifying. But I'm preparing for that mostly instead of doing like video game stuff. Which also means I'm going to have to push back the next episode of RiverCityGamers. I was hoping to have them like every other week staggered with this podcast, but it looks like I might not be able to do that. On the plus side, I have begun, or I began it already, but I've done a little more work on scripting the first episode of Devil's Advocate. And still no idea when I'm going to be able to get that out. It actually coincides with another project I'm doing, but yeah, again, I really don't know when I'll be able to release any like full-fledged production. Like, God, I'm stumbling over my words so much.
Not as much as me.
Take 2. But I don't know when I'll be able to release like a fully fledged, like well-produced video, like in the near future. I just really don't know at this point. But, what else am I working on? Escape from Bug Island, still going through it. I'm at one part right now that is an absolutely huge pain in the ass to play. So, I don't know when the next edition of that is going to come out. And, I might as well promote this, but another reason I haven't been able to get much done is I'm working with a convention that I staff on a yearly basis called Animation and Gaming Ohio, which is happening April 5th through the 7th this year in Cincinnati. Stuff I've been doing for them, I'm mostly a videography guy there, but I've done stuff like, if you want to actually go there and see me, I'll be in the cosplay wrestling, I'll be Phoenix Wright, and I'll be taking on Harvey Birdman.
Oh.
And if you go and see the musical they're doing this year, which is Dragon Ball Z the Musical, you can actually hear me in that. I voiced the narrator, Vegeta, Raditz, and Piccolo. But I think that's all I got going on, so...
Actually, I did just remember one thing. I mentioned earlier that I found a copy of the Netherhood. I actually did record some footage of it already, and I'm actually gonna do a let's play on it, or I feel like playing on it, or at least I'm planning on doing it for that. So that'll be my next LP, basically, on my YouTube.
So the next letter of the alphabet.
So I got nothing else. Unreal, you have anything?
Not that I can think of.
Still recovering from the Baconator?
Oh, no, I've actually had... I'll tell you right now, I've actually had a few of those, before, you know. It's just, I looked it up and I was like, oh god, this is the worst thing I've eaten. Still the greasiest thing, too. I wish you could see what it looked like with the grease and shit. I'm like, oh god, my fingers! How am I gonna turn off the camera without sliming it over? I really don't know if I have anything, really. Especially for the site, I haven't recorded a new Menu Madness for a while, because I still don't know where I want to go next, so that'll have to wait. Reviews, I still have ideas that I haven't started on yet, that I'm not revealing still. There's, something that'll take a long while to make, that I've already announced before on the podcast. So, really, nothing new for the site. However, well, I'm not sure if I want to consider this for the site. Since Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate is coming out next month, and since Capcom has announced that the original Monster Hunter Tri servers will be closing around April, since the new game's coming out to replace it, basically, I'm decided to record pretty much a bunch of Monster Hunter stuff with the guys. I'm not sure what I'm gonna call it yet at all, because I don't even think this is gonna be a site thing, but it's something I'm gonna be doing with these guys, and of course other people, not just SCR, Blondie, or Angel, anybody from RiverCityGamers that joins in on the hunt. Really,
You can upload it to the RCG YouTube?
I may do that. It won't be on the site, but it'll be there, kind of like the Bug Island thing. I have no idea what I don't know what I want to call it yet.
The last ride.
The last hunt, I don't know. So, expect that. It's really just going to highlight every monster, really, with post-commentary, because, quite frankly, I don't want live commentary. I know it's something Zero does a lot, not to just single them out, but...
Don't worry, we know your stance on it.
Yeah. I mean, I've done a bunch of LPs live commentary, and I regret every single one of them.
So we're back on that question about if you regret your work or not.
But that's really what's going to come down the line. A couple of things have already been recorded. I just got to prep everything for the voice recording, and that's about it.
So I think the real question is, will you review Never Dead?
Beat me to it.
Didn't already... My god. I swear I brought this up last podcast about Never Dead. And the point still stands. What the fuck?
I guess no one will let it down.
But there is one thing, not Never Dead, but with Ain't Got Games, my next game pick I said was going to be a good game, and it's probably still will be. But I may switch out that game. I may or may not, which means I could probably end up doing a different game than the one I wanted to do next. But that is undetermined, so at most expect the quote-unquote good game.
I got a bad feeling about this one.
No, what, the good game thing?
The bad game.
Well, again, undetermined as of right now. So yeah, I'm kind of boring on the project front. If there's anything you want to at least look forward to in the coming month, the Monster Hunter stuff. That's it.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, well, I guess that wraps up this edition of the River City Gamers Podcast. I am SCXCR.
Oh, I was expecting Spanish, Unreal.
Well, whatever. It's been English for the rest of the podcast anyway, or the entirety of it. So, and I'm Blondeguygamer.
And this has been AngelHalo. How's my mental health doing? 0? Okay, this is the end of my story.
By the way, you're fired, Blondie. Go do your own podcast.
You're fine. I'm gonna get blackjack and hookers then.
Everything